Have you ever really taken a break to examine why you're constantly broke? Where does most of your money go? And why, 2 weeks after getting your paycheck, your bank balance is usually in the red? Welcome back to our channel, guys. Today, we'll discuss 7 expensive habits that will keep you poor. Before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. The range of human aspirations is never ending. We want an assortment of merchandise that might or might not be beneficial for us. For instance, we hurry to fulfill our desires as quickly as we can afford them. That's how millions and millions of people all around the globe function. Their lives revolve on pleasing their wants rather than concentrating on what they actually need. This attitude towards money may bring a fleeting smile to our cheeks when we receive the stuff we so much want. But when we are unable to pay for the vital things in our life, we are faced with the reality of our actions. So what are the habits that are driving you to be poor? Let's take a look. Number 7. You don't have a budget and don't keep track of it. If you don't have a budget, how will you realize how much money you make, spend, and save? Without a budget, it's quite difficult to reach your financial objectives. A budget is all about figuring out how much income you earn so you may establish spending objectives and perhaps save some cash. Merely being mindful of how much you spend may assist you in spending less as you become more attentive. You must also maintain track of your budget and make changes as needed. Creating a budget is the first step toward financial literacy. That is, if you didn't grow up in a family where good financial habits were established. This is where a budget comes in, and the 20-30-50 strategy is one of the finest ways to adopt it. This method of budgeting divides your money in the following ways. Living expenses such as rent, utilities, and groceries receive 50% of the budget. The remaining 30% is spent on entertainment, such as going out to dine or seeing a movie. The remaining 20% should be deposited directly into your savings account. This means you can now track your costs based on the quantities you set at the beginning of each month, ensuring that your financial goals are met. Number 6. Purchasing cheap or quantity rather than quality. Have you ever bought anything just because it fits your temporary requirement, but isn't really up to mark? Sometimes you already know that you would have to replace it in a few days. This isn't the first time we've done something like this. Instead of spending more money on something, we choose the less costly alternative. It does, however, break down eventually, requiring the purchase of a new one. An excellent example is sunglasses. You buy a cheap pair and soon drop them, shattering them right away. It's time to go out and get a new pair again. So, what if you simply bought one amazing pair that outlasts all of your cheap ones? In the long term, it's usually preferable to spend your money on high-quality items, such as food. Let us remind you that you're also more likely to take better care of more precious items. If you purchase cheap, you may wind up spending more money in the long run. Quantity is the same way. Why spend the same money on 5 good t-shirts when we can buy 20 for the same money? However, you'll probably only wear 5 shirts, and those 5 shirts may last longer than the 20 cheap ones. So use your money wisely. Number 5. You believe you are too young. Let's face it, while we're young, our main concern is how to look cool and blend in with our peers. To do this, we purchase the most recent clothing and gadgets in order to feel like we're a member of the in crowd. We are much more concerned with our social standing than with saving for a home or retirement. Because of this casual attitude, we spend every dime we make, leaving nothing to sustain us in the future. In actuality, it's never too early to begin saving and, more importantly, investing. Take, for example, Warren Buffett. He purchased his first stock when he was 11 years old and has since exploited his expertise to become one of the world's wealthiest men. Number 4. You aren't making any investments. Do you have a low interest rate savings account? If that's the case, what's the rationale behind it? If you don't need the money right now, you should invest it in assets that will provide a higher return. Banks want to retain your money for as little as possible. It is a method of earning money for them. As a consequence, avoid holding your money in a savings account or as cash. What you can do is try and make the most of your extra income. It's one of the few ways you may boost your net worth. Investing implies a certain amount of risk. However, you are unlikely to achieve your financial goals without investing your money. Number 3. Your credit card balances are not paid off. Carrying a credit card debt and paying interest is one of the worst habits that may lead to bankruptcy. Interest rates on credit cards may be devastating to your budget, forcing you to spend more money in interest each month. If you can, try and pay off your credit card balance each month. Some individuals don't realize they're squandering money because they feel they simply need to pay the bare minimum, or they are oblivious to the amount of money they are squandering on interest. Many individuals, however, struggle to pay off their credit card debt. If you're having problems paying off your bill each month, you may need to devise a temporary plan until you can. Until the card is paid off, you may need to restrict your spending to the essential requirements. However, since you will no longer be paying interest, you will save money. Number 2, you don't have a financial strategy in place. While you may feel that a financial plan and a budget are similar, they are not. Without a financial strategy, it may be feasible to save money. However, it may not be the most efficient method. You gain a lot of understanding of your income and expenditure when you make a financial plan. You can keep track of your expenses and consciously reduce them. In the long run, this will naturally enhance your savings. Not having a financial plan is one of the habits that may keep you broke. A budget is focused on the following month or quarter, whereas a financial plan is focused on the coming decade. Your financial plan should act as a roadmap for accomplishing your financial goals. It should include information about how your investments are expected to perform over time and how you plan to save money. Number 1, you are dismissive of your time. This had to be the final one on our list. Your time is one of the most important resources you have in life. When we acquire a job, we exchange our time and skills for money. It is, however, quite simple to develop or already have a habit of not valuing your time. We always seem to have cash for fast food or Starbucks, but not for saving, and we always seem to have leisure for video games and the internet, but not for improving our abilities. Many governors granted stay-at-home orders, but how many use that time to learn new skills and improve their chances of earning more money when the economy improved? If you actually want to make more money, use the time you spend taking out surveys on things like honing your abilities and expanding your knowledge. Your time is your most precious asset. It may be used to build something or to acquire a new skill. Think about what you could have done with those 10 hours if you hadn't spent them filling out surveys. Instead of focusing on the specifics, consider the larger picture. The goal is to become aware of them and work toward developing wealth-building behaviors. So how are you going to save yourself from becoming broke? Which of these habits are you going to drop first? Please share your thoughts in the comment box below. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.